beginning of the relationship is really the key, because it's like any relationship. I remember, not to get too personal here, but I remember when I was dating one of my ex-girlfriends, we had a really long conversation about this. You know, she was telling me about one of her ex-boyfriends who, you know, the first 2-3 weeks of generally the first 2-3 weeks of any relationship dictate what happens for weeks and months and years to come. So, you know, she was with this guy who was very, how can I say, very needy in a way. You know, he was always, you know, he would literally drive every day to her workplace and meet her after work. And I said, that's the stupidest idea ever, because it just creates a one-way dynamic, right? So he was chasing her, and it's the same thing with your clients. If you're the one doing the, you know, if you're the one doing the chasing, which means if you're the one giving out trials in the hope that someone sees the value you give, I never recommend clients giving free trials, because it just it creates a weird relationship. It creates a relationship where they're selecting you. And so the solution to that, what you should start doing from today onwards, is really shifting that thing. Okay, shifting from, you know, the client, you know, or the prospect trying you out, to you testing and kind of creating an application process where the client has to prove his worth to you. So it's a very big mind shift, and I really stumbled upon this. I don't remember exactly how. It was probably 3 to 6 months after I started doing sales. So in 2008, I was selling 50 euros. So I was selling in France, 50 euros. So that's about 50-60 bucks online, like digital products. And I was thinking, how can I increase the value, the customer value? And so the idea came to sell really high-end packages and training programs. And so I started, one day I just started calling our clients and offering on the phone our products and services. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that using the phone and having a one-on-one conversation would eventually lead to conversions. So that was the idea. At the beginning, I was just doing everything wrong. But one thing I was doing right is just I picked up the phone and I called clients. So that kind of led, really from one thing to the next of, perfecting this dynamic of making the clients apply to work with us. So if you're delivering a service right now, try to think of how you can create a dynamic where the client is applying to get your help, and where you're selecting which client you want to work with. Okay, so that's a key for everything we've done pretty much since 2009. Because I remember I started selling on the phone in April of 2008. I filled like a 10 or 12 person seminar, a workshop that I did in Paris of clients paying 3,000 or 4,000 euros, all by using the phone. And but I was very inefficient. It was inefficient and ineffective, but it got results. So I improved the system, and then I got to a point where making the client apply, or the prospect apply to work with you, and you really selecting the client and creating a dynamic where you select who you want, or you turn down who you don't want to work with, it just gives you so much more leverage. So that's number one thing. Think of if you're giving out free trials now, I urge you to reconsider that and to stop giving out free trials, and to really create a dynamic where, someone has to almost sell himself to you to work with you. A pretty interesting story. So this is the first show, so I assume that this is the first time you're seeing me, if you haven't followed, unless you follow me on social media. I'm also involved, apart from doing all the business stuff, I'm also involved in movies and in the entertainment world.
Go to MatthiasMazur.com to watch the full episode and connect with Matthias on social media. See the links in the description below.